Hey guys, I want to talk to you today about endothermic and exothermic chemical reactions real quick. Now, I have written on here photosynthesis. Think back to biology for a minute, okay? I know that was a long time ago, but let's talk about the chemical equation that you guys looked at as freshmen in biology. And if you remember, when you were talking about photosynthesis, you learned that carbon dioxide gas in the air plus water plus some sunlight would give you glucose for the plant to get its energy from, plus oxygen gas that the plant would put back out into the air. All right. Now, back in biology, we didn't worry about balancing this equation for you guys because that wasn't the focus. That was more a chemistry thing, and we knew that we would teach you how to balance equations later. So I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to take my inventory here. I've got carbon, I've got oxygen, and I have hydrogen on the left. I have carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen on the right. Right now, it looks like I have one carbon. I have two oxygens here and one here. So that's 3. And it looks like I have 2 hydrogens on this side. On this side, looks like I have 6 carbons, 12 hydrogens, and I have 6 oxygens here and 2 here. So that's going to give me 8. All right. I need 6 carbons on this side to match this 6 carbons. So I'm going to put a 6 right there. So that gives me 6 carbons. It gives me 12 oxygens here plus 1 here. So that's going to be 13. Then I've got still 2 hydrogens. Let's see what happens over here. My carbons are good. My oxygens are not, so I need more oxygens over here. I'm going to put, let's see, let me look at my hydrogens as well. So I have 12 here and 2 here, so I need to put a 6 in front of this to give me 12. Okay, I've got 12 hydrogens now. What does that do to my oxygens? So I had 12 here. Now I have 6 here, so that gives me 18. I'm going to turn that into an 18. And I've got 8 here, so I need to be able to put I've got 6 here, so I need to be able to get 12 more. So if I put a 6 in front of this, that's going to give me 12 here plus 6 here, which is 18. Okay, and now my chemical equation is balanced. So I have 6 CO2s plus 6 H2Os plus sunlight gives me C6H12O6 plus 6 oxygens. Okay, that looks kind of funky, but that's a 6 oxygens. All right, so it's balanced now. All right, that's all good and well, but what does that have to do with endothermic and exothermic? Well, balancing chemical equations really doesn't have anything to do with whether a chemical reaction is exothermic or endothermic. But what you guys learned is that endothermic, endo means, or what you should have learned already on the ed puzzles, endothermic means that a chemical reaction absorbs heat. Okay, it absorbs heat, and that is where the sun comes in from. We say sunlight, but it's heat plus light energy. Okay, so it takes some energy to make this process, to make this chemical reaction occur. This is an endothermic chemical reaction because it requires heat energy to go into it to make it happen. Okay, exothermic, on the other hand, is a reaction. Let's see, I wrote endothermic. reaction is one that releases heat, releases some energy. Basically, when we talk about heat, we want you to think about energy. Heat, energy. Okay? So exothermic is going to be where heat is released. So an explosion or anything where you have heat coming out in the products is going to be exothermic. Okay, so your products are going to be hotter than the reactants. In an endothermic, your product is actually going to be cooler. So your products are cooler than the reactants. Okay, so that is a brief description of exothermic and endothermic. An example of endothermic is photosynthesis or anything else where the products are going to be cooler. All right. There are certain products that you can crack open to cool something down, like the ice packs that you break and you cause this chemical reaction and then they get cooler. And then an example of an exothermic would be something that you might create to warm things up. There are hand warmers that people can crack and cause a chemical reaction to occur, and it actually produces some heat.